This is a second stimulus check update. There are new retroactive $1,200 stimulus checks going out to certain residents. A GOP senator got on the phone with President Trump yesterday and said that he should veto the current stimulus bill if it does not have $1,200 stimulus checks included with it. The deadline just got extended to pass the next stimulus bill as well as government funding, and it is now legal for employers to tell their employees that they have to take the COVID vaccine, and if not, they will get fired. I hope you're having a great day so far. If you could do me a quick favor and hit the like button down below, this way YouTube will share this video with more people. Also, to celebrate reaching 200,000 subscribers, I am giving out $200 checks to my subscribers, and I'll give more details on that later on in the video. The Washington, D.C. mayor is going to give out $1,200 stimulus checks to eligible residents because Congress is not doing their job. So this is going to go out to people on the Pandemic Unemployment Assistance Program, aka the PUA, and the $1,200 stimulus checks are going to be retroactive November 30th. Yesterday, Republican Senator Josh Hawley from Missouri got on the phone with President Trump and said that he should veto the bill if it does not have stimulus checks. So yesterday, Josh Hawley said, after the phone call with President Trump, he said, I think it's vital that any relief include direct payments, and I'm not going to vote for it if it doesn't. And I also urged him to veto any bill that did not have direct payments in it. This is a big deal for a Republican senator to speak out against his party and say we need stimulus checks, because the majority of his Republican colleagues are not for stimulus checks in this upcoming bill. I asked you what you thought about President Trump and not having stimulus checks in this next bill. CW Flash 88 said in yesterday's video, yes, Trump needs to step up and say something. Don't sign unless there's stimulus checks, and it should be more than $1,200. President Trump should sign the bill, should not sign this bill without $1,200 stimulus for the people. Let me know what you think about this. Should President Trump speak up about the stimulus checks in this next bill? So far, he is in support of the bill without stimulus checks. Let me know what you think about this down in the comments below. So today, there's actually going to be a vote for Congress to extend the shutdown averting bill and continue stimulus talks. So the current deadline at this moment is December 11th, but today, Wednesday, they're actually going to have a vote to extend this deadline until December 18th. Everybody's in agreement in this, so this is probably going to pass today, and then the deadline will go from December 11th to December 18th. Mitch McConnell spoke on the Senate floor yesterday, said that he refuses to endorse the bipartisan stimulus. At this point, I don't know what will make Mitch McConnell happy. Maybe passing his own skinny $300 billion stimulus bill, which almost has no benefits for the American people, just PPP and some other things. Here's what Mitch McConnell said on the Senate floor yesterday in a clip.
Their strategy has been all or nothing. And so struggling Americans have, of course, got nothing. Well, we're down to the wire, Madam President, down to the wire. The light at the end of the tunnel is in sight. Operation Warp Speed seems poised to deliver vaccines on an historic, almost miraculous timetable. We have seen some hopeful signs of engagement from our Democratic colleagues, but we have no reason to think the underlying disagreements about policy are going to evaporate overnight. Republicans and Democrats do not need to resolve every one of our differences to get badly needed relief out the door. We just need both sides to finally do what members of Congress do when they're serious about wanting an outcome. Drop the all or nothing tactics, drop the hostage taking, and make law in the many places where we have common ground. That's what the country is counting on. That's how we can do right by the American people before Christmas. So let's get it done.
One of the biggest issues between Democrats and Republicans is the liability shield protection. So the Republicans are calling it a red line, but the Democrats are calling it a poison pill. As the stimulus talks continue, they have been arguing about liability protection for maybe 5-6 months since the stimulus talks started. So here is Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer for the Democrats and what he said yesterday on the Senate floor.
Unfortunately, Our efforts to pass another emergency relief bill through the Senate have been stalled until now for one reason. The Republican leader has refused to compromise. Again today, we heard the same old song from the Republican leader. His position has not budged since March. First, he put the Senate on pause while the spread of the virus got worse and worse. Then, after pressure mounted, the Republican leader finally decided to put forward a series of bills that compromised only the things that the Republicans want. While the nation has been clamoring for a bipartisan solution, the Senate, under the leadership of the Republican leader, has only been allowed to vote on partisan Republican proposals, each of which has been sorely inadequate, and each of which has contained poison pills designed to ensure the bill's failure. The Republican leader never mentions those poison pills in his speeches to this chamber, where he excoriates Democrats for refusing to pass, quote, bipartisan legislation that everyone agrees on. But bipartisan does not mean Democrats must agree to whatever the Republican leader wants or whatever issues he picks.
Let me know down in the comments below, who do you support with these arguments? Is it Chuck Schumer with the Democrats, Mitch McConnell with the Republicans, or neither one because they both have their own political agenda and don't care about the American people? Let me know down in the comments below. So there are still people who are against having another stimulus check. Not in government, but the Fox host Charles Payne said on Fox and Friends yesterday, we don't want to be dependent on the government. We don't want to hope that the Democrat House Speaker Nancy Pelosi comes around and sends out another check. We don't want that as human beings and particularly as Americans. I think he's speaking for himself. He has a net worth, a multi-million-dollar net worth, and I think people like him, as well as other people in government and other rich people, they could care less. They don't have the compassion or empathy for the struggling Americans that don't have enough money to feed themselves and are getting evicted. Now, many people think that the evictions were stopped because of the CDC eviction ban, which was done by President Trump through executive order, but there are still tens of thousands of people that are being evicted because this isn't full legislation, it was more of a loophole. So this one story, this one woman, Vicky, who lives with her disabled veteran husband, as well as her son, she was laid off in March from her executive assistant job at Bank of America. So she had a good job, got laid off during the pandemic, and then she got evicted Halloween night. Even though she tried to have a lawyer say that the CDC ban wouldn't allow her to be evicted, she still got evicted anyway, and there are thousands more stories just like this. It's really sad. Economists are also against stimulus checks, telling Bernie Sanders that he should still vote for the stimulus bill even though it does not have stimulus checks. So if you weren't aware, Bernie Sanders is not going to vote for the current stimulus bill because it does not have stimulus checks, among a few other Democrats. So economists said don't vote against it. A lot of people need these benefits. Leaving out stimulus checks is a sensible compromise. A sensible compromise for who? I can't believe that people are still arguing for the fact that we don't need stimulus checks with all of the hungry Americans and struggling veterans out there. It's ridiculous. So, and then experts are saying that the Biden team is going to push for a second round of coronavirus stimulus checks. This may be so, but Biden doesn't have any control or power until January 21st of 2021. At this point, Biden is more just promoting, influencing, but he has no power. He's not going to sign anything. So if he does want stimulus checks, it'll have to be January of 2021. In terms of COVID news, it seems that we're still at records highs here. So yesterday, 202,000 cases. The day before that, 173,000. Day before that, 205,000. So we're hovering around the 202,000 range. And it seems that COVID deaths, cases, and hospitalizations are at record highs this week, which is a segue into the COVID vaccine news. So it seems that the US will have 40 million doses of COVID vaccine by the end of the year. It's just waiting for Moderna and Pfizer are waiting for the green light and the approval to distribute the vaccines. They have them ready. Once they get the approval, it'll go out within a few days. Now, the vaccine is very controversial. I know a lot of you commented saying that you don't want to take it, you don't trust it, but unfortunately by law, your employer, so a boss can fire you if you refuse to take the COVID vaccine. So they could say to their employees, if you don't take this COVID vaccine, you are going to be fired. So according to a Dallas labor employment attorney, he said, under the law, an employer can force an employee to get vaccinated, and if they don't, fire them. So this is kind of scary, especially for the people who don't want to take this vaccine. And also, just to clarify, this is kind of like leveraging people's beliefs and dangling money in front of them just to give them a vaccine. So spoke about this story here a couple of times. So they're offering a $1,500 stimulus check in exchange for taking the COVID vaccine. Now, this is nowhere near being law, but just the very fact that this idea is being presented is kind of scary because it's going against people's beliefs, and constitutionally, people don't have to take the vaccine. That is all the stimulus news I have for today. To cheer up your mood a little bit, here's my daughter Bella's tip of the day.
Hi guys, this is Bella. This is the tip of the day. I want to tell you the one thing you should do for when you're feeling down and you want to follow your wishes, then do whatever you want. It's a free country here. You can do whatever you want. So bye guys. Have a good night or a good day.
As a big thank you and for being part of the Wise Flies community, I'm going to give out multiple $200 checks to my subscribers for reaching the big milestone of 200,000 subscribers. It's crazy. A year ago, I think I might have had around 7,000 subscribers. So to be at 200,000, I thought this was years away, but thanks to you and all of your support, I really appreciate it. It happened because of you. So I'm going to give out multiple $200 checks. The way to be eligible is you have to do 3 things. You have to be subscribed to this channel, you have to be subscribed to my Wise Vibes and Wise Sense channels. I'll have the links to that down in the description below. And then you just have to comment only on this video alone, no other video. You just comment a joke and use the word joke in your comment so I could find your comment, and I'm going to pick out people randomly and give them $200 checks, and I'll announce it a week from today. So that's all you have to do. And if you want to learn how to achieve more than you ever thought you could imagine, I recommend clicking this video over here. It's the 7 Success Rules by Marie Forleo. I highly recommend it if you ever had any goals that you wanted to accomplish or just get in a better mood. I recommend clicking this video on my Wise Vibes channel. Click that video now, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, be safe. Thank you for watching.